Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Cobb with Health Performance, and today we're talking about children, the eyes, and headaches. This is a relatively well-known thing, I think, for people that work in my field that are very brain-based in what we do. When someone comes to us with headaches or neck pain or back pain, we spend a lot of time looking at the eyes, the inner ear, and a lot of the other systems that allow us to move through the world. In adults, we have a fairly strong connection that has been drawn between eye strain, computer vision syndrome, stuff I've been talking about, headaches, migraine, etc. But what has not been shown until recently is that there is also a definitive connection between vision problems in children and headaches. So I wanted to talk about this really quickly today. There was a large study published in Nature Neuroscience a couple of years ago, and it was one of the first large-scale studies looking at kids who had chronic headaches, chronic neck pain, chronic back pain, and then said, hey, is there a possibility that the visual system, their eyes, are contributing to this or are maybe the major problem? So they took a group of control kids and they took kids that were experiencing headaches and they did eye evaluations on them as well as a lot of physical exam. And what they found was that the kids with visual problems were 2 to 3 times more likely to have headaches and neck pain, etc., as compared to the controls. This, as I said, was kind of big news from me, or for me in a kind of scientific world. But what was interesting is that it still isn't being talked about a lot. So I wanted to make sure that we filmed a quick blog for you today to make sure that if you have kids, or if you work with clients, they have kids who are experiencing headaches, neck pain, and back pain, that eye exams become a critical part of the standard approach that we take to working with these kids. When we look into the literature, these kids go to school, they're spending time focusing on screens or trying to look at a textbook or look at the board, etc. And what we are finding is that there are some specific aspects of vision that are problematic for them, which then predisposes them to having headaches and, like I said, a lot of neck and shoulder pain. So here's basically what they found. The kids that were struggling the most and then subsequently experiencing the pain issues, a lot of them suffered from a deficit in what's called accommodation, the ability to focus on an object, to look away from that object and return your focus to that object for a period of time. And normally what we see when we deal with people that have accommodative disorders is that they are not great at having the eyes come together in a coordinated fashion, stay working together in a coordinated fashion, and then shift focus in a coordinated fashion. So that's the reason I'm holding this string. A couple of weeks ago, we put out a blog talking about the Brock string. I also wrote a blog. That's hard to say. I wrote a blog about a Brock string. And this is a tool used in vision therapy. It's been around for almost 100 years. This is an amazing way to be able to identify whether or not you or your kids are maybe experiencing a type of what's called binocular visual dysfunction. The way that this thing works is I hold the string up to my nose, it's got a bead on it, and if my eyes are functioning correctly, even though it sounds weird, I should see 2 strings going into the bead, forming this nice V with a point at the bead. If we were to look at these kids in this study who are having headaches and neck pain, etc., most of them would not be able to do that. In fact, they would look at this and they would go, oh, there's 1 string. Wrong. That tells us that there is a binocular visual dysfunction. Now, usually also what we see with that is that these kids will have difficulty with convergence, which means the eyes coming together. If I'm going to look at something up close, my eyes have to do this. Many times whenever we evaluate kids or adults with headaches and neck pain, whenever we ask them to do a convergence exercise, which basically could be as simple as take your finger in front of you, bring it all the way into the tip of your nose and follow it, we'll see one eye coming in nicely and the other eye is taking a trip to Hawaii or whatever. So we will often see problems with convergence, and in the therapy world that is called convergence insufficiency. All of this is to tell you, if your clients have kids and they are experiencing headaches on a regular basis, they're experiencing neck pain or back pain or shoulder pain on a regular basis, the research is clear. You need to test their eyes. If you don't know how to do that, refer them to someone that does. In most cases, what we found is that with working with their optometrist or ophthalmologist to improve or upgrade, if you want to call it that, their prescription, if they're wearing prescription lenses, checking for astigmatism, etc., and then incorporating some basic vision therapy for them to make sure that their eyes are learning to work together. You can make near miraculous changes in how many headaches they suffer, how much back pain they suffer, and ultimately this has a huge impact as well on their ability to focus and do their work in school. So there are academic, cognitive, and emotional factors that eventually roll out from all of this as well, and it all boils down to how well these are working. All right. If you're new to Z Health, we're a brain-based education company. We work with doctors, coaches, and therapists, and this is the stuff that I love. It is very easy to blame pain on a given structure, and 90% of the time we're wrong. When someone has neck pain, we think, oh, it must be the neck. Usually it's not. Usually it's something else. They have back pain. Hey, it must be the low back. It must be the disc. Usually it's not. Those structures are playing a role, but they are not the causative factor. Often it's something else, more complex, but often also simple. Maybe it's the eyes, maybe it's the inner ear. So brain-based practitioners, this is what we excel at, and then blending this with traditional modalities like mobility and strength, etc. So if that is you, and that is of interest to you, make sure to check out our free resources. Otherwise, just subscribe to the channel, keep coming back, we'll keep showing you weird devices, and giving you updates on how to think more holistically in a scientific way about your body. All right, take care.